Hello guys! Okay, prepare your rage because in this video I'm going to offend your thoughts. Of course I'm joking. So before making this video I make big research on internet. I read forums and people reviews. I talked with sim racers and also used my memory because I was very active until few years ago in a lot of internet discussions about racing games with random people. So in this video I'm going to show you the top 5 racing games which disappointed you the most. But be careful. This doesn't mean the games I'm going to show you are shit. On the contrary, they are very well made in my opinion. It means people got big expectations on these racing games and finally these games didn't manage to satisfy all the hype they created. So see what I mean? So according to that, let's prepare for this top 5. Ready? A lot of people, me included, loved the Grid series, despite it wasn't very realistic. It was classified as an arcade racing game. So, what's the problem with Grid 2019? The physics? No, because they weren't so different compared to the previous chapters. Cars were quite differentiated and give you a great dose of challenge to master them. Maybe the graphics? Nope. I mean, look at it. When this game was released in 2019, it was one of the most beautiful racing games ever. Also the damage system was great, especially visually speaking. Even the engine sounds were great. So what's the issue of this high quality game? Simple, it's boring. The career mode doesn't attract you at all, and the stuff you unlock are an end in itself. It doesn't satisfy you, there is no content because the game is very repetitive. So okay, Grid 2019 is fun for the first 4-5 hours, then it starts being boring. This game is a classic huge waste of potential, because the quality is there, but there is no sign of originality and creativity. Too bad. Another racing game with incredible graphics, which someone don't like because he thinks they're too colored. Unlike Grid 2019, Dirt 5, despite it's a racing game centered in off-roading, it offers way more variety, way more modes, including one which allows you to create your own track in Trackmania style, which personally I ever like it. So what's the issue which disappointed most the fan of the series? Physics. Don't get me wrong. Everyone knows the Dirt Rally series is more simulative, while Dirt series is more arcadish. But here, in Dirt 5, it's too much arcadish. On the car differentiation, you can feel the difference between front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, and all-wheel drive. And you can feel the difference between a big Ford Bronco and a little Abarth 124. But the problem is, many cars have the same behavior, like you can tell the difference between driving a Subaru Impreza, a Mitsubishi Lancer, a Ford Fiesta and Audi TT. They feel like the same car with just a different body shape. Moreover, the driving system doesn't satisfy many people, but personally I like it for an arcade game. Dirt 5 doesn't offer car setup. I mean, setting the gear ratio, ride height, and other stuff could improve a bit the driving system. Damages don't affect the car performances, and visually they aren't so great for a 2020 game. So despite that people knew already Dirt 5 was going to be an arcade game, they found out it was too arcade. If it was slightly more realistic on the physics part, I think it would have pleased the fans of the series. Contrary to Grid 2019 and Dirt 5, which despite the polemics of their fans they got good impressions from professional critics aggregators, V-Rally 4 disappointed both professional aggregators and fans of the series. Personally, I never played V-Rally series on both PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, but I knew its popularity back then, and it was considered one of the best rally series ever made. So what happened with V-Rally 4? V-Rally 4 wanted to be like Dirt 3. But what's the difference between V-Rally 4 and Dirt 3? V-Rally 4 difficulty is bad calculated. The cheating AI, a little element of the scenario which could ruin all the effort. But don't get me wrong. Hard and challenging games are usually good and satisfying when you manage to complete them. But the problem with this one is the same of Grid 2019. It's too repetitive. The nice level design and the good amount of vehicles don't save this mediocre racing game, which many people expected to be a decent successor of the glorious V-Rally 3. And for a 2018 racing game, graphics aren't so beautiful. V-Rally 4 is a strange off-road racing game. It looks like the developers had the skill to make a great game, but they wanted to finish it in the quickest way as possible, forgetting to polish and refine it before its release. A wasted occasion.
Right 5 short over bump, right 4 long open.
Another game which repeated the same mistake of Dirt 5. Compared to the previous chapters, Project Cars 3 became more arcadish. So why is it in second position? Let me explain you. On the Dirt series, people knew already they're going to find an arcade game, although developers decided to make it too arcadish. On Project Cars series, the shock was bigger, because Project Cars and Project Cars 2 pretend to be serious full simulations. So what happened with Project Cars 3? Let's forget about graphics, they are the same of the second chapter. Developers decided to reduce a bit the simulation on the physics to make it more accessible to a bigger mass of players. So they converted the third chapter into arcade sim, like Forza Motorsport and Gran Turismo. Big mistake. If you decide to make a full simulation, you can't make another game by downgrading the physics just to make it easier. At least change the name. Call it Project Cars Go, or Project Cars Junior, or Project Cars Unleashed. Because this game has nothing to do with the previous chapters. Moreover, think about the main opponents. Why do people should buy Project Cars 3 when they have already Forza Motorsport series and Gran Turismo series? What do this game offer more than these two? This game is a great example of bad marketing choice, and because of that a lot of people got disappointed. No, wait. Don't kill me yet and allow me to explain you. Gran Turismo 5 represents one of the most important racing games of the 8th generation of consoles. And despite all the critics, it sold almost 18 million copies if we consider also Gran Turismo 5 Prologue. So why is it a disappointment? The content? Not really. Despite double models like the countless version of Nissan Skylines, the number of cars and trucks was exceptional. The physics? No, very few people blame the physics back 2010. The graphics? Bingo! If you remember well, the game featured the premium cars with astonishing details and the standard cars, which came directly from Gran Turismo 3 and 4. The level of polygons was shameful even for PlayStation 3 standards. The damage system? For the very first time Gran Turismo featured visual damages, but they were rubbish, especially compared to Forza Motorsport 4 damage system. Sounds? Another bad point, as you can hear. Many people, including me, considered Gran Turismo 5 like an unfinished game. And this was even worse because, if you remember well, Polyphony delayed the release date a lot of times in more than 4 years of development. For these reasons, a lot of people got disappointed. And it's easy to disappoint a lot of people in this case because Gran Turismo has the biggest fan base of racing games. But despite that, it got a commercial success, and I personally played countless hours. Why? Because the game was enjoyable after all. I must admit, some people were too much crybabies on the bad points. So, this is my top 5 list of the most disappointing racing games. Of course, there are racing games which are way worse than these 5, but they didn't disappoint that much because they weren't that popular and they didn't have to respect a big inheritance for the previous chapters. And you? Do you agree with this list? Let me know your top 5 disappointing racing games in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you on my next video!